So I thought now would be a good time to just step back a little bit and review everything that's happened to me over the past 10 years concerning theory development. Hi, Celeste. Uh, there are 8 science-based, what I have here is 8 science-based strategies for critical thinking. From what I've seen in my interactions with people online, it's not necessarily the people who are the most educated who are the ones that can think critically concerning a lot of issues. I found that people that think the clearest are most of the time people who do not have vast credentials under their wings or under their belts or whatever. And from what I've seen, the people with the most credentials, the people who have the most educations, are the people who sort of lose track of reality and can't really think critically anymore. They've just sort of lost that ability because over many, many, many years of thinking a certain way, they just sort of become narrow-minded and their worldview just collapses into one little beam, and then that's all there really is to it. I'll outline these 8 strategies and what I've experienced, and they're very important. I just want to go over this because I have a unique perspective I think is good to share. Number 1, challenge all assumptions. Of course, that's a given. That's the very first thing you have to do in science, is challenge the assumptions. The problem that I've seen with the assumption part, though, is there are a lot of individuals inside of academics and inside of the astronomy community who don't understand what an assumption really is. An assumption is a claim that has no proof of it. There's no proof of the claim. You just have to assume that to be true, and then you work from that. Speaking of this specific discovery, the assumption that astronomers are making is that there are 2 distinct classes of objects called star and planet. And that's an ancient Greek assumption based off of the observations that they were making at the time. They look up at the sky and they say, well, a star is a fixed point of light, and then you have the wandering stars, and we call those planets. But fast forward 2,000 years later, we still keep that assumption that they're independent objects, but they're not. They're not mutually exclusive. The planets are the highly evolved and dead stars and stellar remains. So questioning assumptions is definitely numero uno. Number 2, suspending judgment. Just because I say something or just because something is said online doesn't mean that that idea sort of is taken as that person's belief. For instance, for somebody to play around with ideas online, it's easy to say, well, they said this thing, therefore that's what they believe. But that's not necessarily true. They're just throwing an idea out there to see how people react to it. And that's essential, because if you can't allow yourself to express ideas that you don't necessarily believe to see how people react to it or to see new avenues of approach, then what's the use? Might as well just stay in your bubble and not say anything. And unless you can suspend a judgment, unless you can just say, oh, well, how about this, or how about this, or how about this? If you can't do that, then what are you doing in science? What are you doing? You're not supposed to make judgments. You're always supposed to have an open mind. Number 3, revising conclusions based on new evidence. That's one that scientists don't actually do. They don't revise conclusions based off new evidence. It's not designed, the system now designed it's not incentivized. In other words, if you have a person who spends so many years in college and then they get a professorship and then they become tenured and they stay put, it's very unlikely that they're going to revise their beliefs based off of new evidence, because they've been, for so many years, been teaching the same things. It's very, very, very hard for them to change their ways. And that's a detriment to science and to society itself, because the rate at which new evidence comes in that can change our worldviews is very, very rapid. So seeking consensus and everybody to be conformist all the time inside of a society that changes very, very rapidly is detrimental to progress. Of course, there are some ideas that don't change, but still, we always have to look at new evidence and be able to revise conclusions. Number 4, emphasizing data over beliefs. Oh God. That's literally impossible for a lot of scientists to do. They say that they are data driven. No. They're belief driven. They have very to the core beliefs that they have, and to hell with the data. It's not true at all from what I've seen. Scientists, they don't emphasize data or beliefs. They cherish their beliefs because it's their worldview. It's how they feel about themselves. It's how they feel about the world around them. And data and feelings, they conflict a lot. But from what I've seen, feelings usually take precedent these days. It sucks that that's true, but that's just how it is. So a lot of scientists, they just sort of miss that mark. Number 5, the never-ending testing of ideas. That's just emotionally exhausting. Yeah, you can say you never stop testing ideas, but it's emotionally exhausting to constantly, I would say, attack, because that's more appropriate. Testing of ideas is taken as being attacking ideas. And it's emotionally exhausting to do that, because you're constantly having to tell people, hey, this is what about this? What about this? What about this? And it's just too much. You can't sit there and constantly attack ideas that everybody believes to be true, because you'll work yourself into an emotional breakdown. Those 5 words right there equals emotional breakdown. Number 6, the perspective that mistakes are data. How do I reinterpret that? It says the perspective that mistakes are data. I'm not too sure how to make sense of that. I guess what they're saying is, if you make a mistake, then you can use that mistake and work off of it. Instead of looking down upon mistakes as being, signaling incompetence. I see that a lot too. I've read an article where people are just so afraid to speak up and admit mistakes because they don't want to be viewed as being incompetent or unable to correct themselves. But what that does is that causes an environment where people are just walking on eggshells and no progress is made. Nothing happens because everybody's afraid to speak up. Everybody's afraid to go out on a limb for an idea that might not be correct, because then they'll get stamped as being a crazy person or a nutcase or what have you. Of course, that's what a lot of people call me, is they call me a nutcase or a crazy person, but I don't think I'm all that crazy. Maybe I am. The earnest consideration of possibilities and ideas without always accepting them. That definitely goes up to number 2. We have to seriously consider ideas without always accepting them. And I think that's very important too. Of course, I've considered lots of really wild out there ideas, some of them including the sun being hollow. Of course, I don't actually believe that, but I had to get that earnesty across, that genuine, oh, well, this is true, just trying to knock a screw loose in somebody's head so they can consider different possibilities. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I believe it's true. I just was trying to be earnest about it. Of course, other people can take that as, oh, this is a crazy person talking, but really it's just getting that sort of immediacy out there, just to try to push people to different directions to see where it will go. But it doesn't necessarily mean I accept it wholeheartedly. And number 8, looking for what others have missed. Gosh, you do that all the time. Being a detective, trying to figure out what people might have looked over. And I think number 8 ties into number 1, questioning assumptions. You have to learn where the assumptions are I think that's the gold when it comes to science, is where in any science do people accept things to be true just on a whim without, any critical thought towards it. And that's probably where you'll find the gold. All right. I think I made this talk long enough, Baz. I've been pretty exhausted. I haven't been really doing much with the theory. I've just been chilling, working on the house. All right. Later, y'all.